Field in Phoenix, Arizona, Prime Ticket presents the Dodgers as they take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Saturday afternoon to you, wherever you may be. The Dodgers and the D-backs in Game 2. It's also the meeting of the 14th time, and the Dodgers have certainly had their way. They're 11-2. They've beaten them 8 straight, and they've won 10 of the last 11 from Arizona, having won 5 of 6 at Dodger Stadium and 6 of the 7 played here. John Eli will be on the mound for the Dodgers, trying to keep it going with a cast of rookies behind him. And for Arizona, it'll be Dan Hudson, who has been pitching brilliantly. He is 6-1 with an earned run average of 1.9. We'll get to the ball game. We'll have it all coming up for you right after this.
...105 degrees outside, but inside with the air conditioner on full blast, it is a comfortable 78. Let's take a look at our Lexus pursuing perfection from last night. Clayton Kershaw goes 8 frames, allows just 4 hits, 1 run, strikes out 9. The Dodgers win 3-1. Career high 32nd appearance on the year for Clayton Kershaw, who seems to have taken it to a new level.
He really has. He's still just 22 years old, but when you look at the way he pitches now, he's gotten a lot smarter, a lot greater level of maturity. He struck out 9 guys last night, but in his best start of the year was a complete game shutout. He struck out just 4. He's getting smarter, figuring out how to get outs without striking out everybody, and look what he's done. He's put himself into a very elite crowd of the top pitchers in baseball. There's some good numbers and some good pitchers on that graphic.
Look at those names: Lincecum, Halladay, Wainwright, and Hamels, and right in the middle is our own Clayton Kershaw. Jim Watson and Steve Lyons on the field, just minutes away from the first pitch. John Eli Eli goes tonight for the Dodgers. John Lindsay also be playing. Getting back to Kershaw real quick, it seems that now Kershaw's, his maturity has overtaken his potential.
Well, you think all the time people talk about who's the ace, who's the ace. You know, there are very few aces. We showed you that graphic. Those are 5 aces in the game of baseball. Every team has to have a number one. Clayton Kershaw is clearly the number one on this team, but he is evolving into an ace in the game of baseball.
Do you think that's going to have any effect on John Eli tonight? John Eli needs to turn things around.
Just maybe watch him pitch a little more often, try to emulate a little bit more. Keep the ball in the middle of the plate, you're all right.
John Lindsay makes his second Major League start. He's in the 4-hole tonight. Come on, Johnny, take one out. Dodgers and Diamondbacks next.
Fastest growing car company in America, Hyundai. What's the most home runs hit by one player in a single Major League game? Go to Shakey's.com/trivia. By CarMax, now more than ever, the smart choice is CarMax. And by AT&T, TV, high-speed internet, home phone, and wireless. Visit att.com or call 1-800-PIC-ATT for details. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Saturday night to you, wherever you may be. Welcome to Chase Field here in Phoenix, Arizona. The roof was open last night. It's perhaps a little hotter today than yesterday, and as of the moment, the roof remains closed. It does make a difference. With the air conditioning on, there could be as much as a 20 to 30-degree difference inside and out. And sometimes on a very hot day, if they do eventually open it, it heats up inside the park and the balls travel a bit farther. Whether they travel or not tonight remains to be seen. The Dodger lineup goes this way. Trent Olson leading off in center field. Ryan Theriot at second base. Andre Ethier in right field. John Lindsay making his second Major League career start tonight. At third base, Russ Mitchell. Then it'll be Reed Johnson, who homered last night in left field. A.J. Ellis, the catcher. Chin Lung Hu at shortstop. John Eli on the mound. On the mound for the Arizona Diamondbacks, Dan Hudson. Hudson is a big fella, 6'4", about 220, out of Virginia Beach, Virginia. He was originally drafted by the White Sox only 2 years ago, and here he is with a record of 6-1. First time we've seen him. So Dan Hudson will be tested now by Trent Olson, then Ryan Theriot, and Andre Ethier. The Dodgers, since the All-Star break, have been averaging only 3 runs a game. It's interesting, their last 2 victories, they've won by the score of 3-1. Olsen takes off the plate. 1 ball and no strikes to Trent. Leading off in last night's game, he had a triple and he had a drag bunt single. And here comes Hudson back with a fastball swung on, fouled at the plate, and they count 1 ball and 1 strike. To give you an idea of the difference inside and outside, the temperature right now is 103, and inside the ballpark 74. So a 29-degree difference, and they keep the roof closed. But of course, we are not going to complain about the heat in Arizona, not after what we hear about Southern California, and especially in and around Los Angeles. It has been blistering hot, we understand. So no complaints here. 1-1 pitch on the way, and Olsen lifts a fly ball to center. Chris Young goes back, now turns, waits, and makes the catch for the out. So 1 away here in the first inning, and the batter will be Ryan Theriot. Terrio's been struggling with the bat. In fact, in the month of September, for whatever reason, he has just stopped dead in the water. So the Dodgers are hoping that he can pep up a little bit, but this month has really dragged him down. So Ryan, right hand hitting second baseman, takes a pitch off the plate. Ball 1, 1-0. Theriot hitting .270, but it was another 0 for night. He was 0 for 4 last night. The 1-0 pitch on the way to Ryan, way off the plate, ball 2. Couple of notes about Dan Hudson. Number 1, his success reflects indeed upon his catcher, and he has Big John Hester behind the plate yet again. 2-0 pitch in for a strike. When Hester has caught Hudson, Hudson's earned run average is .61. When Miguel Montero covers him, it's 2.4. Here's the 2-1 pitch coming up, and Theriot looks at a breaking ball away, ball 3. Those hitters who try to go the other way with Hudson have paid the price, but Theriot likes to go to right field. 3-1 pitch, sure enough, is a drive to right, going back on the ball, backtracking, and one-handing it for the out is Cole Gillespie. We mention that because left-hand hitters who go the other way with Hudson are hitting 111. Right-hand hitters who go the other way to right field, they're hitting 111. Theriot, however, hit that ball pretty hard and far, but Gillespie ran it down. And we have 2 out in the first inning, and Andre Ethier checking in. Ethier hitting .289, 23 home runs, 78 runs batted in. Andre had a triple, scored a run last night, and takes low, ball 1. 1-0 the count. Ethier with John Lindsay hitting cleanup behind him. Andre waiting in the 1-0 pitch on the way, waved at and missed. 1-1. Joe Torre said he figures that Ethier will rest tomorrow. Tomorrow it'll be Chad Billingsley and Joe Saunders. And Lindsay waits. Andre checking in, hitting .324 against right-hand pitching, and one comes in at the left kneecap, and he has to get his legs out of the way. It's the left-handers who have slowed him down. He's hitting .209 against left-hand pitching. He's played very, very well all year, and especially at night. Here's the 2-1 pitch on the way, and that's swung on and missed. 2-2 off-speed pitch. So Hudson with 2 out, bases empty, and a 2-2 count on Andre Ethier. Ethier hitting .329 in night games, and .324 against right-handers. Andre takes just off the plate. The 3-2 the count to Ethier, with 2 out in the first inning, no score. We're just starting. This would be the 14th meeting of the year between the two clubs. Number 15 tomorrow, and then next weekend the final 3. Pop fly back a third down the line. Abreu in foul ground makes the catch. So the Dodgers go 1-2-3. All the balls hit in the air. And at the end of half an inning, Dodgers nothing. D-backs 11 up. We go to the bottom half of the first, and we take a look at the Arizona lineup, and they stack up with Stephen Drew at shortstop, followed by Tony Abreu at third, Kelly Johnson at second base, and Chris Young in center field. Adam LaRoche at first base, John Hester the catcher, Brandon Allen in left field, Cole Gillespie in right, and Daniel Hudson the pitcher. On the mound for the Dodgers, 24-year-old right-hander John Eli. He is 4-8, was pounded last time out against Colorado, allowed 6 runs in 4 innings. Dodgers lost that game 12-2. He did beat Arizona. That was back in May, and he held the Diamondback hitters to a 174 batting average. His first pitch to Stephen Drew is high, ball 1. Drew finished up last night at the very end of the game and drew a walk. Left hitter hits a ground ball down to shortstop. Chin Lung Hu is on it, fires over to first in time for the out, and we have one away here in the bottom of the first inning. Big game in San Diego today. In the shadows in the bottom of the 9th inning, Aroldis Chapman, the kid from Cuba, last night he made 25 pitches, every one 100 miles an hour. The top pitch he made last night was 105, but not today, because today, with 2 out in the bottom of the 9th inning, Chris DeNorfia doubled home Chase Edley, and San Diego beat Cincinnati 4-3. There were home runs by Joey Votto and Will Venable. Heath Bell won it. He is 6-0, and Aroldis Chapman, the loser, 1-2. Towering fly ball to center, but Olchin is under it waiting. Trent makes the catch, so Tony Abreu flies out, and we have 2 down. Kelly Johnson coming up. Now there's still another part of the story. Now you know that San Diego won. The Giants are in Colorado, and Freddie Sanchez just hit a home run in the first inning, so the Giants are leading 1-0. That'll be Barry Zito and Jason Hamill. Meanwhile, Kelly Johnson with 25 home runs at the plate. The left-hand hitting second baseman takes off the plate. Ball 1. Kelly in last night's ball game had 2 singles to right field, 2 for 4. He has a look at a strike, and the count 1-1. So Kelly Johnson at one time with the Braves and has been a marvelous fixture for Arizona at second base all year, hitting .278 with his 25 home runs. Eli Reddy over the top, high and inside to drive him off the plate, and the count 2 balls and 1 strike. So Johnson waiting with 2 out. Eli Reddy, John comes right back, swung on and missed, and the count 2-2. Kelly Johnson during this homestand against Colorado and the Dodgers is 7 for 18. He takes one that misses, ball 3, including 3 home runs and 6 runs batted in. He homered in 3 straight games. The 3-2 pitch is foul back. So he homered in 3 straight, and the Dodgers finally shut him down as far as home runs last night, but not completely with the 2 base hits to right field. Now the 3-2 pitch, and Eli delivers just inside, ball 4, which points up one dramatic change with John Eli. You remember when he first started for the Dodgers, he faced 89 consecutive batters without allowing a walk, the longest streak of any Dodger rookie since Dave Stewart did it almost 30 years ago. So a 2-out walk to Kelly Johnson, and that'll bring up the center fielder, Chris Young. Young, another power hitter. He has 26 home runs, and the first pitch a little low, ball 1, 1-0. Young does a fine job in center field, bouncing off a bad year last year. Eli set at the belt, looks at Johnson, back he comes low and away. So Eli went 3-2 with Johnson. He has to worry about Johnson, 2-0 count, because for young Kelly Johnson, a high in stolen bases this year. He's stolen 12. held on by John Lindsay. Eli looks down the barrel, now straightens up, and the 2-0 pitch on the way is a fastball down the pipe, and the count 2-1. On deck, Adam LaRoche, who had a player's nightmare last night, maybe we should say a hitter's nightmare. He struck out all 4 times, but it happens to a lot of them. 2-1 to Chris Young. Eli a quick throw to first, and Johnson diving back to the bag. Johnson, with those 12 stolen bases, that's a career high for him. So 2-1 to Young. Eli leaning on his left knee as he looks in, now straightens up. And the 2-1 pitch coming up. Eli deals, and he's low again. So the control artist of 2 months ago is struggling with his control. Eli has walked 32 and struck out 66. 3-1 the count to Chris Young. Johnson at first, 2 out. Out of a stretch goes Eli. Johnson does not go on ball 4. So John Eli got Drew to ground out, Abreu to fly to center. Maybe it's the fact that he's facing guys 51 home runs between them. Johnson with 25 and Young with 26. Maybe afraid to pitch to contact. So now let's see what he does with Adam LaRoche, who could not make contact last night. LaRoche striking out all 4 times, has struck out, I believe, 29 times in the month of September, and he's way out in front of a pitch and fouls it away. For Adam, hitting .261, still has 24 home runs, 96 runs batted in. He has struck out 163 times. Matt Kemp for the Dodgers tops the squad, 161. But then, of course, there's Mark Reynolds, who's not playing tonight. LaRoche takes inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Mark Reynolds, who struck out 223 times last year, has struck out 206 times this year. And by the way, here's a 1 in a million facing Mark Reynolds. See if we can get it in between pitches. Right now, it's a lock. The 1-1 pitch is low. Never has a fella played every day and struck out more times than his batting average. And yet, Mark Reynolds has struck out 206 times, and he's hitting 199. Not a very nice record to have. 2-1 pitch to LaRoche, very high. And so John Eli is suddenly a stranger to the strike zone. He got 2 quick outs. Walked Johnson, walked Young, and now he's 3-1 to LaRoche. Well, Eli plants the right foot, heaves a big sigh, looks in to get a sign. Waiting on deck is the catcher, John Hester. Eli ready, and his 3-1 pitch swung on, lifted back a third down the line. Who's slanting out? Johnson coming in. Reed Johnson for the catch. So no runs, no hits, 2 left, and at the end of an inning, Dodgers nothing and the D-backs nothing. John Lindsay, then Russ Mitchell and Reed Johnson. No score. Dan Hudson going up against John Eli. We have an asterisk and a footnote to that item we gave you a moment ago about Mark Reynolds. First pitch to Lindsay is taken high and away. Ball 1-0. Back in 1991, Rob Deere hit 179 and struck out 175. Lindsay, meanwhile, skies one. Going out for it is Kelly Johnson. The second baseman makes the catch. So that'll do it for Lindsay, popping it up, and one away. So for Mark Reynolds, right now, he could set the record, but he's going to have a dismal last 7 or 8 games. We'll see. Deere 179, 175 strikeouts. Mark Reynolds 206 strikeouts and a 199 batting average. Pitch in for a strike to Russ Mitchell. 0-1 the count. Mitchell hitting just 107, playing third base. Right hand batter way out in front of it. Russ last night single left, went 1 for 4. Dodgers trying to do it again to Arizona, beat them 9 straight times. Mitchell, a ground ball to short, charging as Drew sets for the throw and gets him. And we have 2 out in the second inning. And the batter will be Reed Johnson. Reed Johnson in last night's game, after Gibbons had been in there, Gibbons was 0 for 2 with a scoring fly ball. They made a defensive change, and that allowed Reed Johnson to come up in the 9th inning. And he hit a home run against the left-handed Jordan Alberto. That turned out to be a pretty big run. It made the score 3 instead of 2, and the Dodgers won 3-1. So Reed takes a strike, and the count 0-1. For Johnson to do well against a left-hand pitcher is certainly not news. Throughout his career, he has put up good numbers against the lefties. 0-1 the count. He's hitting .238 against right-hand pitching this year and fouls it away. Last night for the Reed Johnson Marching and Chowder Society, he stepped in, pulled it, and hit it out for a big tie. His son's too young to know, but Daddy hit one out last night. Here's the strike 2 pitch on the way. Swung on and missed. Down he goes, and the Dodgers go 1-2-3. 6 in a row retired, and at the end of an inning and a half, Dodgers nothing, D-backs nothing. On hand for game 2 of the 3-game series. They had 38,516 last night, and it would certainly look like they have the same amount, maybe even a little more tonight. And tomorrow afternoon, the concluding game of the series, it'll be Chad Billingsley. He'll go up against the left-hander Joe Saunders. In the bottom of the second inning, big catcher John Hester, followed by Brandon Allen, and then Cole Gillespie. Hester hitting just .205, and he takes a look at a pitch off the plate. 1 ball and no strikes. Big fella out of Alpharetta, Georgia. 6'4", 215, born in Atlanta. And the 1-0 pitch in for a strike. Hester was signed out of Stanford University just 4 years ago. Now the 1-1 pitch is whacked to left field. Johnson's going to have to try and run it down, and he can't get to it. It'll go to the fence, and Hester into second base standing with a double. So Hester was 0 for 8 in the homestand against Colorado, and then last night against the Dodgers, and he comes up with his first hit, a long double into the corner. So no doubt John Eli, who walked Johnson 3-2, walked Young 3-1, figured he'd try and get his first pitch over for a strike to Hester, and John promptly doubled. So now Brandon Allen, the left-hand hitter up there. Allen, 0 for 1, has not played much, and he hits a ground ball over the glove of the diving Lindsey into right field. Hester will stop at third. So they're not wasting any time going after Eli on that first pitch. So they understand what he's trying to do, and they're ready for it. So Hester hits the first pitch for a double. Allen hits the first pitch for a single, and the D-backs are in business. First and third, nobody out. Cole Gillespie, Dan Hudson, and then Stephen Drew. Cole Gillespie, 0 for 3 in the game last night. Did make a couple of nice defensive plays. He had a 3-hit game Thursday against Colorado. He was called up from AAA Reno on September the 7th. So Gillespie hitting .231. He has 1 home run, 8 runs batted in. Eli's pitch, first ball swinging, ground ball to Lindsey, and they have the runner hung up at third. Hester being chased to the plate, now being chased by Ellis, who will tag him out. Taking third on the rundown is Allen, and going to second base on the rundown is Gillespie. So if you care, it's 3-2, 5-2. A.J. Ellis making the putout. Gillespie on the fielder's choice takes second, and Hester's cut down. So Allen winds up at third. Second and third, 1 away, no score, second inning. And here is Dan Hudson, right-hand batter, hitting .130. Infield is back. Out of his stretch goes Eli, looks at the runners, comes to Hudson, a big swing and a miss, and the count 0-1. Hudson with the bat has 3 hits this year. He has 1 double, and he has 6 runs batted in. That's a lot of ribbies for a guy who's only had 23 at-bats. The Hudson waiting, 0-1 to count. Out of his stretch goes Eli, no score, second inning. Hudson fouls the next pitch away, and the count 0-2. So Dan, who was signed just 2 years ago, and he's up here in the big leagues with second and third. Eli leaning on his left knee to get a sign, now straightens up. And the 0-2 pitch on the way. It is taken very high, ball 1. Hudson is 6'4", so he gives you a pretty good strike zone. Dan backs out, looks at Joel Youngblood. Matt Williams coaching over at first. So Allen down the line from third, Gillespie away from second with 1 out, and the 1-2 pitch on the way. Eli delivers, swung on and missed, and down goes Hudson. First strikeout for Eli, 2 down in the inning. Stephen Drew coming up. You know, Sunday, October 3rd, the Dodgers invite you to the biggest fan appreciation day ever. Compliments of Hyundai, more than 15,000 giveaways. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com or call 866-DODGERS. And, of course, Fan Appreciation Day on Sunday, that will mark the final game of the year for the Dodgers against Arizona. So hope you'll be out there with us. Here's Drew. Steven grounded to short, 0 for 1. Left-hand hitter takes high, ball 1, 1-0. Steven Drew came in late last night, got a walk. He is 6 for his last 12, including 2 home runs and 5 runs batted in. He had a game with 4 RBIs the other night against the Rockies. The 1-0 pitch is fouled away, 1-1. So Steven Drew, quite a force with his 14 home runs, 59 runs batted in. He has 11 triples. And he's only the 3rd shortstop to have 3 straight seasons with at least 10 doubles, 10 triples, 10 home runs. He takes a little low. Who are the other 2? Jose Reyes of the New York Mets, and way back in the middle 60s, Zoyo Versalles of the Minnesota Twins, who played briefly for the Dodgers. 2-1 the count to Steven Drew. Eli trying to get out of the inning. Right-hander ready and deals, and he works it off the plate. So he has now made 33 pitches, and it's a struggle, walking 2 in the first inning. Eli trying to get out of the jam. 2nd and 3rd, 2 out, no score. 2nd inning. John at the belt, ready. Here he comes. Swung on and missed. And Steven Drew chasing a pitch that appeared to be off the plate. Kind of walked away as if he thought it was strike 3. That he was going in that direction, chasing the pitch. And he just kept moving over. But if you just arrive, you'd think, well, he's done. He struck out. But he has not. The count is 3-2. Tony Abreu on deck. First base open, and the 3-2 pitch. Steven waiting. John Eli delivers ball 4. So a pretty shaky start for John Eli. Once upon a time, the proud possessor of the label of control pitcher. He has now walked 3. The bases are loaded with 2 out. And Tony Abreu, the former Dodger, coming up. Tony, a long fly ball to center, was caught by Trent Olson in the first inning. So Eli trying to get out of the jam, throwing from a stretch, and the pitch to Abreu inside, ball 1. Well, we told you the Giants got a run on the home run by Freddie Sanchez. However, in the bottom of the first, Melvin Mora had a 2-out, 2-run bloop double, scoring Carlos Gonzalez and Troy Tulowitzki. The Rockies are still hitting, and the Rockies lead the Giants 2-1. That's Barry Zito and Jason Hamill. Zito with a record of 9-13. Hamill is 10-8. So we'll watch that one carefully for you. 1 ball and no strikes. Eli ready with the bases loaded. Abreu has a look at a strike, and the count 1-1. Tony Abreu just really starting his big league career. He came up to the Dodgers in 07. Was only in 6 games last year. He does not have a grand slam, but he has power. The 1-1 pitch on the way, swung on and fouled off, and the count 1-2. So Tony Abreu out of the Dominican Republic, 5'11", 200, 25 years old. He'll be 26 middle of November. Former Dodger property, trying to do some damage. Abreu 2 for 5 when he's played during the homestand. The 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed, and down he goes. Tough inning for John Eli, but he strikes out Hudson. He strikes out Abreu, and he's out of the jam. And at the end of 2, no score. game, A.J. Ellis, followed by Chin Lung Hu, and then John Eli. Dan Hudson, who has retired 6 in a row, going to work. Right-handers pitches, and it's in for a strike, and the count 0-1. A.J. Ellis played last night, walked twice, had a single, went 1 for 2. Now the strike one pitch on the way, swung on and missed, and the count 0-2. Dodgers trying to win their 76th game, trying to get out from under the fact that when they arrived here last night, they were 5 games under 500. And of course, having the mark as the second worst second half season team since the Dodgers came to Los Angeles. Ellis swings, doesn't get it, strikes out, and that's strikeout number 2 for Dan Hudson. When the Dodgers took the field, they were 25-40 last night since the All-Star break. That was the second worst mark since the All-Star break, before the 1992 team that went 24-50. The pitch now to Chin Lung Hu, high and away, ball 1, 1-0. No score, 1 away, third inning. Hudson turns, Dan ready and comes back 1-0. That's in for a strike. 1-1 the count. Dan Hudson came here from the White Sox in the Edwin Jackson deal. Pitch is swung on and missed. 1-2. That was in July, the end of July. Jackson to the White Sox, and Hudson and David Holmberg came here. 1-2 pitch is taken. Strike 3 called. Who can't believe it? It was kind of a late call by Marvin Hudson, but call it is. So that's strikeout number 3, and consecutively, as the pitch apparently had late movement and picked up the outside corner. So we have 2 out, and John Eli coming to the plate. Eli, right-hand batter, and he takes low, ball 1, 1-0. Eli hitting .222. The pitch to him, a check swing strike, and actually that .222 is incorrect. They still left the average up for Chin Lung Hu. Eli is hitting .080. He swings, taps it foul off to the right of the plate. So the count 1-2 with 2 down, bases empty. Third inning, no score. Dan Hudson has retired 8 in a row. The 1-2 pitch to Eli is poked down the right field line, foul back into the stands. So 1-2 she be. Hudson coming in with a record of 6-1. This will be his 11th start. And the 1-2 pitch is waved at and missed. So 2 former products of the White Sox go head to head. And Hudson strikes out Eli. He strikes out the side, and he gives him 4 strikeouts for the night. Still no score. Brought to you by CarMax. Now more than ever, the smart choice is CarMax. And by Toyota. Get a great deal on Toyota's full line of hybrid and fuel-efficient vehicles at your Toyota dealer today. Bottom of the third inning, no score in the ball game. D-backs will lead the numbers 3, 4, and 5 batters. That means Kelly Johnson will start it off. Kelly walked in the first inning. Kelly Johnson has 36 doubles, 5 triples, and 25 home runs. So he has 66 extra base hits. That puts him right up there inside of the top 10. So Kelly has really developed into the player that Bobby Cox thought someday he would be. Add to that 73 walks, and he's quite a valuable addition to the Arizona lineup. Left-hand hitter Scholl's bunt takes a late breaking ball for a strike, and the count 0-1. No score in the third. Eli in the sunlight peeking through the roof. Back he comes with a fastball in there, so the count goes to 0-2. So he walked Johnson and Young in the first inning, but got LaRose and got out of a jam in the second. The next pitch in the dirt, kicks away. 1 ball and 2 strikes, the count to Kelly Johnson. The lights are on, but the sunlight still peeks through the glass, and for the moment sunlight are washing John Eli's face. The pitch is high. 2-2 the count. Chase Field in Phoenix. Meanwhile, the Giants are in Colorado. The Rockies lead 2-1, still hitting in the second inning. Johnson, meanwhile, hits one to left field. That's going to drop for a base hit. Up with it is Reed Johnson. So Kelly singles to left field to open up matters in the third inning. He's really been on a tear. He's 9 for 19 during the homestand, going against Colorado and now the Dodgers. And Chris Young coming up. So Chris Young, 26 home runs, 27 stolen bases, having a solid year. And there's only one other man who can put up those kind of numbers, and that would be Carlos Gonzalez, better known as Cargo. Carlos Gonzalez is a 25-25 man, home runs and stolen bases. So Chris waiting. 26 home runs as the right-hand hitter waits. He walked in the first inning. Eli will look over at Johnson. Young right-hander delivers a ground ball to third. Mitchell goes down to Terrio. He fires late to first. So Chris Young has exceptional running speed. One reason why he can motor down the line like that. Terrio's throw on the money, but by that time Young had passed the bag. So 5-4-4's play, and now Eli will have his hands full. Young with 27 stolen bases. So 1 out, and here's Adam LaRose trying to come back after striking out 4 times last night. Had the count his way, 3-1 with 2 on in the first inning, and popped up. He bangs one down the right field line, foul. A one-hopper into the stands. 0-1 the count to Adam LaRose. LaRose, the son of former Major League pitcher Dave LaRose, born in Orange County, lives in a big ranch, Fort Scott, Kansas. As a first baseman, we've always admired his sense of humor because his branding iron on the ranch in Kansas, E3, which means, of course, error 3. So that's probably one reason why he survived the big league life. He can kid himself. By the way, he's committed 11 errors this year. 0-1 the count. Throw over to first. Young back on the bag. John Lindsay holding a corner, and Adam LaRose waiting. No balls and 1 strike. LaRose with 24 home runs, 96 runs batted in, so he does a lot of things right. Hard foul ball outside of first, down the line. 0-2 the count to John Eli. Hitting behind LaRoche is the catcher John Hester, who doubled into the left field corner, leading off the second inning, but was caught in a rundown between third and home. 0-2. Eli ready. Here he comes, missing inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tomorrow, Chad Billingsley, Joe Saunders. Then the Dodgers will move on to Denver. Play Monday and Tuesday nights, Wednesday afternoon in Denver, and then home for the weekend. The 1-2 pitch, runner goes, swung on and missed at the plate. No need to have a play at second base as Adam LaRoche struck out. And doubled up at second base is Chris Young. So no runs, 1 hit, nobody left. And at the end of 3, Dodgers nothing, Arizona nothing. It is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Right now, get Jack's really big chicken sandwich combo served with curly fries and a drink for only $3.99 plus tax at participating restaurants. And by your Southern California Ford dealers, where you'll find the new Transit Connect. Check it out at scforddealers.com. 4th inning, no score. Trent Olson shows bunt, takes outside, ball 1. D-backs have stranded 5, even though they had a man cut down trying to steal. Dodgers, meanwhile, have been retired 9 in a row. The 1-0 pitch on the way. Olson a little late, fouls it off to the left, well back in the lower deck. 1 ball and 1 strike. Trent Olson played here. He's from Sydney, Australia, and he played here for 24 games. He hit .243 for the D-backs last year. Now the 1-1 pitch to Trent, way inside, almost hit him at the knees. 2-1 the count. Olson making his 3rd start in center field after having his contract purchased September 7th from Albuquerque. And the 2-1 pitch works away. 3-1 the count. Olson in last night's game, as he returned here, tripled to drive in Ellis and had a drag bunt single. The 3-1 pitch coming up. Hudson delivers, high drive into left center. Chris Young on his horse, and he is not going to get it. It will bounce over the wall. Olson is already on his way to third. They'll send him back to second. A ground rule double to Trent, and he hit that ball a long way. That's in the neighborhood of 413 feet, and there was no way Chris Young could run it down. So a long double. Young playing straightaway had the one bouncer go way up into the seats. So the Dodgers get their first hit and their first base runner. And now with Olson at second and nobody out, Terrio, Ethier, and Lindsey coming up in that order. Hudson, for the first time out of a stretch, the bunt comes back to him. He looks at third and goes to first. So Terrio sacrifices, and the Dodgers have Olchin at third with 1 out. Ryan Terrio, who is a good bunter, that would be his 7th sacrifice, and he gets 5s in the dugout. So Olchin at third, 1 away, no score in the 4th inning. Andre Ethier trying to pick him up. Infield is back. Outfield fanned out straight away. Andre, 23 home runs. Trying to get his 79th run batted in. Out of a stretch. And here we go. Foul back. On the scoreboard, Colorado and the Giants, they're even 2-2, top of the 3rd inning. Giants just got a run. That's Barry Zito and Jason Hamill. Andres Torres, I'll be darned. Andres Torres hit a home run, his 15th of the year. That's amazing. He had an appendectomy September the 12th. The pitch inside. And we were shocked to read the quote from Bruce Bochy. Well, he'll be ready to play this weekend. And we thought, what? What do you mean he'd be ready to play? 13 days after an appendectomy? Well, he not only plays, he hits a home run to tie up the game. Wow. 1-2 the count to Andre Ethier. So the Giants have 2 home runs in that game. Freddie Sanchez and Andres Torres. Talk about long shots. Meanwhile, no score here in the 4th. A runner at third, 1 away. Ethier at the plate. John Lindsay on deck. Trent Olchin down the line from third. Just a little high with that fastball. Ethier, a patient hitter, able to lay off. And a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Two and 2. Fouled away. Final game here for the year for the Dodgers. It'll be Chad Billingsley and Joe Saunders. Dodgers move on to Denver, and the Rockies are 2-2 in the 3rd with San Francisco. 2-2 pitch. Little ground ball to third. The run will score as Abreu throws to first for the out. So Ethier just hit a slow roll to third, but it's good enough to get Olchin home. So it'll be an RBI for Andre Ethier, his 79th. 2 down, and John Lindsay coming up. Lindsay popped up in the 2nd inning. John is 0 for 1. He is 1 for 11. A little number, backhanded knockdown. Hudson picks it up, fires to first in time, and that'll do it for Lindsay and for the Dodgers. But the leadoff double by Trent Olchin is cashed in, and we're heading to the bottom of the 4th. Dodgers 1, D-backs nothing. Bottom of the fourth inning, 1-0 in favor of the Dodgers. We just told you that Andres Torres hit a home run to tie up the game. The Giants Colorado at 2. Aubrey Huff has just hit a home run, and the Giants have taken a 3-2 lead in Colorado. For the Rockies, it would be almost a last gasp. They've lost 5 in a row, and the killer was the Sunday game at Dodger Stadium. Then they came over here half in shock and lost 3 in a row, and then again lost last night. So the Rockies are 4.5 back, and they're now losing 3-2. Meanwhile, it'll be John Hester, Brandon Allen, and Cole Gillespie, and it's ball 1 to John Hester. Hester doubled, but was cut down in a rundown between third and home. 1 ball and 1 strike. San Diego, for the moment, having won today, they're tied with the Giants for first place. San Diego also, remember, is in excellent position. They're atop the Heat in the wild card. And of course, the big collision next weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the Padres and the Giants in AT&T Park. 2 balls and 2 strikes to John Hester, and ball 3. 55 pitches, now number 56 made by John Eli. He's missing the strike zone too much and making too many pitches. That would be his 4th walk, and we're only in the 4th inning. Well, it's time to get you thinking. Here's our trivia question for the night. When was the last time the National League Cy Young and MVP winners came from the same team? Pretty good question. Hester at first. Here's Brandon Allen. Checks for a strike, 0-1. Allen hitting .276, 1 home run, 5 runs batted in. Out of Conroe, Texas, and lives in Montgomery, Texas. He was a former White Sox, so he and Eli, no doubt, teammates for a while in the organization. 1 ball and 1 strike. When you look at Brandon Allen, your first thought is he might be a football player, and he was. He's 6'2", 235. He was an excellent linebacker, and he had committed to the University of Houston. But he really wanted to play baseball, and he went pro. That's a strike. 1-2. Sox signed him 6 years ago out of high school, and he finally made it to the big leagues last year with Arizona. Hit only .202, so he went back down. 1 ball and 2 strikes for the left-hand hitter. 2-2. Allen looks down to Joel Youngblood on a 2-2 count. Hester a lead at first, nobody out. 1-0 favor the Dodgers, bottom of the 4th. Check swing foul into the crowd. So it's still 2-2 to Brandon Allen. So John Eli trying to throw strikes. He's been having trouble. He walked 4. 2-2. And down goes Allen. Four strikeouts for John Eli. Pretty much balancing his books now. 4 walks, 4 Ks. Allen back to the dugout. And Cole Gillespie coming up. Gillespie came up with runners at first and third, hit into a fielder's choice. They ran Hester down. That put runners at second and third, and Hudson struck out. After Drew walked, Abreu struck out, and Eli was out of the jam. Right, 0-1 to Cole Gillespie. He was a 3rd-round pick by the Milwaukee Brewers. came here in a deal. Felipe Lopez went to Milwaukee. No balls and 1 strike to Cole Gillespie. In the dirt, nice block by A.J. Ellis. 1 ball, 1 strike. Dodgers 1 run, 1 hit, the double by Olsen. The D-backs no runs, 3 hits. Dodgers have not left anybody in 4, and the D-backs have already left 5. 1-1 to count. Missed inside, ball 2. So Eli's made 66 pitches, and unless he starts to cut into that pitch count, he's not going to be around too long. Meanwhile, they're in the bottom of the 3rd inning in Colorado, and the Giants lead 3-2. And that's off the plate. So Eli, a picture of frustration, especially in his background. When he first came up, he was a marvel. 89 batters without a walk, but now it's the other way around. This is his 6th 3-ball count. And it gets away from Ellis on ball 4. Down to second goes Hester, and Eli in more trouble because of his wildness. He has now walked 5. Dan Hudson coming up, struck out in the 2nd inning. And Hudson looking at Joel Youngblood. We'll see whether they want Hudson to bunt. They did not have him bunt earlier in the 2nd inning, and he struck out, although you thought they would surely bunt. He shows bunt this time, pulls the bat back, and it's ball 1. So John Eli is his own worst enemy right now. Youngblood again going through the motions. For Hudson, and he hasn't been in a lot of games, he does have 3 sacrifices. They have him swinging a tapper to third. On the bag as Mitchell fires to first, double play. So the D-backs disdain the bunt and pay the price. And the Dodgers out of the jam. And at the end of 4, still 1-0 Dodgers. Have had 1 base runner, that was Olsen, and he scored the run. D-backs have had 8 base runners. They discard the sacrifice, and I was looking up at my notes, so it comes as no surprise. For the Arizona Diamondbacks coming into this series, they are 15 in sacrifice bunts. And perhaps that reflects the personality and the drive of Kirk Gibson. Gibson is not the kind of a player who would play little ball. That was not the way he played. And the very fact that they have only a total of 38 sacrifices, they're at the bottom of the heap. Just one reason why they are where they are. The roof has opened on a beautiful evening. It has cooled off. I'm sure it was 104 outside. 0-1 the count to Russ Mitchell. And Mitchell hits one to dead center. Back goes Young. It's over his head. Whoa, what a nice play. Chris Young makes a wonderful defensive play in center field. Young last night made a wonderful play in center on a ball hit by Jay Gibbons. And today he goes right to the pads to take the extra base hit away from Russ Mitchell. So one out in the fifth. Reed Johnson struck out in the second inning. Dan Hudson grateful to his center fielder. 0-1. Now in the cool of the evening, it's only 6:15 here. It is now 95 degrees and they've opened up the roof. Reed Johnson struck out in the second. 0 for 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. One run, 1 hit for the Dodgers. No runs, 3 hits for the D-backs, who have left 6. They grounded into 2 double plays, not taking advantage of the wildness of John Eli. 1-2 the count to Reed Johnson. Hudson, who came in with a fine ERA. Little ground ball wide at third. Abreu takes care of him. So 2 down in the 5th inning. The batter will be A.J. Ellis. And remember the question, how remarkable it would be the last time that the National League Cy Young Award winner and the MVP was on the same team. The 2005 Cardinals, Albert Pujols and Chris Carpenter. A.J. struck out in the 3rd inning. Big catcher, 0 for 1. In there. Hudson doesn't waste any time. He doesn't wander around out there at all. He's on the rubber and looks in for a sign. 1-1. Ground ball wide at third. Abreu, good pick. Plenty of time to throw out the catcher. So thanks to Chris Young, who made that circus catch on the ball hit by Russ Mitchell, it's a 1-2-3 inning. And at the end of 4.5, it's 1-0 Dodgers. against Arizona. It'll be the bottom of the 5th inning for the D-backs. The Dodgers, since the All-Star break, are averaging 3 runs per game. That's a tough way to win. Their last 2 victories by the identical score of 3-1, and they're trying to make a 1-0 lead stand up. It will be Stephen Drew, Tony Abreu, and then Kelly Johnson in the 5th inning. John Eli has made 70 pitches in 4 innings. He has walked 5, struck out 4, and he has Stephen Drew to contend with. The shortstop grounded to short and walked, and ball 1. 1-0. And a drive to the gap, and that's going to go through to the wall. Chasing it is Andre Ethier along with Trent Olson, and Drew is flying. He's into 3rd without a play. So Stephen Drew is a big man with the bat as well as with the glove. Triples. The tying run 90 feet away and nobody out. Tony Abreu followed by Johnson and Young trying to pick him up. Dodger infield is back. And Abreu strokes it into left field. Johnson able to make a one-hand catch. Stephen Drew tags and comes home. And we have a brand new game, 1-1. So Tony Abreu gets him even. For Stephen Drew, by the way, 12 triples. That ties him with Dexter Fowler. 12 triples. And of course the Dodgers had 2 triples last night by Trent Olson and Andre Ethier. So 1 out, 1 in. And here's Johnson, walked and single to left. 0-2 the count to Kelly. 25 home runs, 69 runs batted in. One and 2. So Olson led off the 4th with a double and came home to score. Drew leads off the 5th with a triple and he's in. And we have a 1-1 tie. But for the Dodgers, they're really trying to do it the hard way. 1 run, 1 hit. The D-backs 1 run, 4 hits, and they've left 6. Kelly going after a bad ball. That helps out for young John Eli. Strikeout number 5. You know, you can visit the official online shop of the Dodgers at Dodgers.com. Browse the largest online selection of authentic team gear. Shop the Dodgers.com shop. So with 2 out, here's Chris Young, who has walked, hit into a force play, and of course made that wonderful catch on that long drive by Russ Mitchell. 1-1. Chris Young, if I remember correctly, signed maybe a 6-year deal last year and immediately went into a terrible slump. Ball 2. Well, I guess the deal was 2 years ago. Yeah, last year he hit .212 last year. 2-2. But he's come back having a solid year. He's played in 150 games and he has 26 home runs. 3-2 with 2 out. 1-1 tie. John Eli, Dan Hudson. Tomorrow afternoon, Chad Billingsley, left-handed Joe Saunders on the mound for Arizona. And down he goes. So Young strikes out. 6 strikeouts for Eli. 1 run, 1 hit. And at the end of 5, 1-1. For a baseball player, a pitcher, a catcher, an outfielder, this was a big story about a doctor and a patient. The patient was Tommy John. And on this day in 1974, Dr. Frank Jobe, for the first time ever, had a ligament transplant forever known as the T.J. Tommy John operation. Let's go back to this one. That's in for a strike. There should be a special place in baseball's Hall of Fame for Dr. Frank Jobe. Fly ball, left field, 1 away. The Chin Lung Hu makes their first out, and John Eli coming up. When you realize how many ball players owe the extension of their careers to Dr. Frank Jobe, you would hope somewhere along the line it would be recognized by Major League Baseball. If not in the Hall of Fame, certainly awfully close. I mean, take all the people in the Hall of Fame and figure out their contributions that got them there. And then think about the man who has saved, I don't know, hundreds of careers. 0-2. I don't know what the active number is right now of all of the players. And they're not all pitchers. Corey Sullivan of Colorado, Kelly Johnson here with Arizona. They've all had the TJ operation. That'll do it for Eli. 2 down. So anyway, to dear Frank and Bev, our warmest wishes, and to Frank, our heartiest congratulations. What a contribution. Trent Olson is coming up. He flied to center, double, scored a run. We have a 1-1 tie, and we're in the 6th inning with 2 out. Dan Hudson and John Eli. The last we checked, bottom of the 4th, Giants 3, Rockies 2. Giants doing it on home runs. Freddie Sanchez, Andres Torres, and Aubrey Huff all hit home runs. That's popped in the air, foul. LaRoche coming over. It'll be in the stands. 1 ball and 1 strike. Trent Olson 1 for 2. Last night 2 for 3. With a lad from down under, Sydney, Australia. And he lifts one to left. Allen puts it away. So the Dodgers go 1-2-3. That's 9 in a row since Olsen doubled and scored. And we're heading to the bottom of the 6th, 1-1. Last night and goes down in the 3rd inning, and by striking out, the D-backs run into the double play with Kelly Johnson nailed. The Dodgers turned in another double play because Kirk Gibson disdained the bunt. He had 1st and 2nd, 1 out, and the pitcher up, and he had Hudson swing away, and he hit into the double play to end the 4th inning. So it's 1-1, bottom of the 6th. LaRoche, Hester, and Allen against John Eli. Eli's pitch count, he's made 84 pitches. 1 ball and no strikes. He has walked 5, he has struck out 5, and he's allowed 1 run, 4 hits. 2-0. They're in the top of the 5th inning in Colorado. Giants 3, Rockies 2. Barry Zito and Jason Hamill. And that's smoke. That's going to be a base hit. Olsen over to cut it off, and all he can do is knock it down. So into second base standing goes LaRoche. So it's a leadoff double for Adam LaRoche. The leadoff extra base hit has cashed in. Olsen double leading off the 4th. He scored. Drew tripled leading off the 5th. He scored. And now here's LaRoche leading off the 6th with a double. So Hester, Allen, and Gillespie trying to pick him up. 0-1. Hester doubled leading off, but did not score. And then last time led off with a walk. 5 of the 6 innings, Arizona has led off with something. The leadoff man has gotten aboard, either with a hit or a walk. 3 times it's been an extra base hit. Hester's double, LaRoche's double now, and the triple by Drew. Ramon Troncoso begins to warm up in the Dodger bullpen. Fouled away. 1-2 to John Hester. Troncoso getting his warm-ups in as John Hester waits at the plate. Hester went to school at Stanford. I think he got good news today. If I remember all the different scores, Stanford beat Notre Dame, right? Yeah. 2-2. LaRoche at second, nobody out. Hester, Allen, and Gillespie in a 1-1 tie. Still 2-2. Eli had allowed 10 home runs in 90 innings coming into the game. He has 4 wild pitches. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And down goes Hester. So 7 strikeouts for John Eli. And the batter will be Brandon Allen. So 1 run, 1 hit for the Dodgers. 1 run, 5 hits for the D-backs. Here's Allen. He singled to right and struck out. Brandon 1 for 2, hitting .267. Ball 1. Allen, starting the month of September, hit a grand slam, first of his career, against the Padres. And ball 2. In the history of the D-backs, Kareem Garcia and Chris Snyder also hit grand slams as a rookie. And he just arrived. He's been called up from Reno and hit the slam. Brandon 6'2", about 235. Had 25 home runs this year for Reno, and they've decided to put him on. So that makes 6 walks for Eli and 7 strikeouts. Career high 6 walks for Eli. And if you go back to when he first started with the Dodgers, he walked 6 men in his first 6 career starts. And then that great control just left him. Remember, he faced 89 batters without a walk. With 6 walks, 7 strikeouts, he's made 97 pitches. And here's Cole Gillespie, hit into a fielder's choice and walk. 2 on, 1 out, 1-1 tie, 6th inning. And a strike. Gillespie went to Oregon State. Led that college ball club to the World Series championship. 0-1. And a high fly ball to deep left field. Back goes Johnson to the wall. It is gone. They're not sure, but now they realize it. All of the base runners stopped. They didn't know whether the ball had gone in or not. Neither did the crowd. When Reed Johnson dropped down on all 4s, the entire place was in suspended animation. The Cole Gillespie, a 3-run home run, and the D-backs lead 4-1. For Reed Johnson, he gave it his best shot. He tried to climb the wall and couldn't do it. That fellow in the red shirt had it hit him right in the stomach. So Gillespie's home run breaks it open, and the batter now is Dan Hudson. That is the 11th home run given up by John Eli. He has now made 100 pitches, and there's another drive to center going back as Olchin on the track. It's going to go off the wall, bounce back towards the infield, and stopping at second with a booming double is Dan Hudson. So the D-backs suddenly put it to John Eli. The 3-run home run by Gillespie, the double by Hudson, and here comes Joe. So Torrey on his way to the mound. Stephen Drew will be the batter, and down in the pen, Ramon Troncoso has been thrown. So for Eli, making too many pitches, and it finally caught up to him. 101 pitches for John, 6 walks, 7 strikeouts, and then boom. It's 4-1 Arizona, and we'll be back. Eli, who went 5 1/3 and gave up 4 runs and 7 hits. Book is not closed, however. Dan Hudson at second base also belongs to John. And Ramon Troncoso, with 1 out, will face Drew and Abreu. Ball 1. Stephen Drew grounded to short, walked, and tripled, scored a run. By the way, the Giants have added a run. They're leading Colorado 4-2 now, bottom of the 5th inning. And that's hit in the air to left field. Johnson going back and picks it off. Holding at second is Hudson. And the batter will be Tony Abreu. In the Giant game, Pat Burrell just had a base hit to drive in Aubrey Huff. And the Giants lead 4-2. They've had 3 home runs, each with the bases empty. Freddie Sanchez, Andres Torres, finally Aubrey Huff hit 1. Now Huff scores on a Burrell single. Pat Burrell homered last night. So it's a bad day for Black Rock and the Rockies. Tony Abreu flied to center, struck out at a scoring fly ball. Tony 0 for 2. Ball 1. When the Dodgers come up in the 7th inning, they'll have Terrio, Ethier, and Lindsey. One ball and no strikes. And another fly ball, keeping Reed Johnson very busy. So he caught 2 of them, but the fan caught 1, and that's the difference. And at the end of 6, Arizona 4 and the Dodgers 1. Key to the game would be the fact John Eli was tempting fate, making too many pitches, getting in too many jams. He did not have a 1-2-3 inning, and he kept giving up leadoff extra base hits. Well, sooner or later it's going to catch up to you. Meanwhile, Daniel Hudson has been pitching exceptionally well. 1 hit. That was the leadoff double by Olchin, who scored the only Dodger run. For Arizona, they moved the furniture around. Gerardo Parra is in right field. Cole Gillespie moves over to left field. And Ryan Terrio, it's a fly ball to Parra just to welcome him to the game. 1 away. So with 1 out in the 7th inning, Andre Ethier coming up. And then it'll be John Lindsay. So Hudson is still working on a 1-hitter. With 1 out in the 7th inning. Dan out of Virginia Beach, Virginia. Back east during the summertime, they have the Cape Cod League, and that's where all the good college players go to sharpen up all summer. And 2 years ago, Hudson had a very good sophomore year and a summer in the Cape Cod League, and that's when everybody started to concentrate on him. Foul ball, 0-2. He's ideal size for a big league pitcher. He's 6'4", 220. Oh, and 2. Ball 1. So this one certainly had a Chicago White Sox feel to it, with both Dan Hudson and John Eli originally in the Sox organization. 2-2. Ethier fouled out, grounded out against Hudson. Andre, 23 home runs, 79 runs batted in. Little fly ball down the line, a trio of D-backs, and it will be the left fielder Cole Gillespie. So the Dodgers helping out the outfield. Parra gets in the game. Terrio hits a fly ball to Parra. Gillespie moves to left field, so Ethier hits a fly ball to him. You know, the Dodgers want to thank their fans for their great support this year, with one more fireworks show following the game with Arizona Friday, October 1st. Compliments of San Manuel Indian Bingo and Casino. So for tickets, visit Dodgers.com or call 866-DODGERS. 2 down, and John Lindsay in there. Bottom of the 5th inning. Colorado had back-to-back triples by Jay Payton and Carlos Gonzalez. So the Rockies are within 1 now. It's Giants 4, Rockies 3, and they're still hitting. Lindsay is popped up, hit back to the box, and John is in a hole, 1-2. And that hit him. You could hear it up here. Nailed either on the left hand or arm. So Lindsay, after 16 years in the minors, finally gets a shot in the big leagues. And I mean, he got thumped. Got him, it looked like, on the knuckles of that left hand. Tried to get out of the way, and he was nailed. Well, John trying to fight it and stay in the game, you can bet. Yep, got him on the hand. While they're examining Lindsay, we can tell you not only did they have back-to-back triples by Payton and Gonzalez, then Troy Tulowitzki came up and hit a 2-run home run, his 15th in the month of September. And the Rockies now lead the Giants 5-4. That will be well received in San Diego. Lindsay, as usual, darn, if he leaves and if we never see him again, there'll be one thing we will always remember. He has a great smile. Even in the face of adversity, somehow or other, he winds up grinning. You really got to like him. In the minor leagues, by the way, John Lindsay was hit, are you ready? 203 times. So John, with his grin, takes his lead. And with 2 out, here's Russ Mitchell. Mitchell grounded to short, then hit one over the head of Chris Young, and the center fielder went back and made a wonderful catch in the 5th inning. Two balls and no strikes, they count. Russ hitting 100. He has 3 hits in 30 at bats. 2 of the 3 hits home runs. And the strike. For Hudson, he hits a batter, but he has not walked anybody, and he's now on the ropes. 3 balls and 1 strike. Ground ball to short. Drew quickly to second. That'll be that. So no runs, no hits, a man left, and we're heading to the bottom of the 7th, 4-1 Arizona. I hope he didn't suffer any damage. I hope he can certainly finish out the last few games. So James Loney will take over at first base for John Lindsay. Bottom of the 7th inning, 4-1 D-backs, and Kelly Johnson, ball 1. A little while ago, you were telling me about the Giants and the Rockies and the back-to-back triples. That's quite an inning they have going on. It's the bottom of the 5th inning. 1 ball, 1 strike to Kelly Johnson. In that inning, Jay Payton opened up with a triple. Carlos Gonzalez followed with a triple. Troy Tulowitzki followed with a 2-run home run. And Melvin Mora followed with a triple. So that's quite an inning. 3 triples and a home run, and the Rockies lead 5-4. Giants have hit 3 home runs in the game, but all 3 with the bases empty. 1-2 to Johnson, who has walked, singled, and struck out. And a shot up the middle, and base hit. Chris Young is coming up, and he certainly made a brilliant defensive play on the ball hit by Russ Mitchell in the 5th inning. If you weren't with us, you can take a look at it. Mitch really connects. It's 4:07 out there, and Young never broke stride and just ran up the wall. Wonderful play. And now Chris with the bat. With the bat, he has walked, hit into a force play, and struck out. He was thrown out trying to steal in the 3rd inning. Strike. So Kelly Johnson, 2 hits last night, 2 more tonight. He's hit first. 4 runs, 8 hits for the D-backs. 1 run, 1 little hit for the Dodgers. 1-1. The Dodger hit was the leadoff double by Trent Olson, and eventually came around to score the only Dodger run. One of the maddening things for Torrey and all of the coaches is what the Diamondbacks are doing in this game. In the very first inning, Stephen Drew led off the game and grounded out. But since the first inning, 6 consecutive innings, the D-backs have gotten a leadoff man aboard. Hester doubled in the second. Johnson singled in the third. Hester walked in the fourth. Drew tripled in the fifth. LaRoche doubled in the sixth. And now Johnson base hit in the seventh. 2-2 the count to Chris Young. D-backs 4, Dodgers 1. Diamondbacks trying to break 2 streaks. Dodgers had a little 2-game winning streak, but the Dodgers have beaten Arizona 8 straight and 10 out of 11. And meanwhile, the Dodger offense, which has been throttled since the All-Star game, averaging 3 runs a game, have gotten just 1 tonight. 2-2. The Troncoso goes all the way to Chris Young. Chris Young, the center fielder, like everybody else on the D-back squad, strikes out a lot. He has struck out 138 times. So we'll see whether they bother running Kelly Johnson or not. He is going anyway, and it's fouled at the plate. Kelly with 12 stolen bases. D-backs lead 4-1. Could be a lot worse. They've left 7. Dodgers 1 run, 1 hit. They've left 1. Well, Kelly went 3-2 and it was fouled. We'll see if they run him again 3-2. Matt Williams over to remind him. There goes Kelly, and there goes the ball. Base hit into center. And Johnson breezes into third, and Troncoso in trouble. Runners at first and third, nobody out. So now everybody in the D-back lineup has a base hit, including Dan Hudson. Adam LaRoche flied to left, struck out in the third, and doubled, leading off the sixth. So first and third, LaRoche, Hester, and Cara coming up. By the way, in correcting, if you're keeping score with me, Tony Abreu has an RBI, but not a hit. And that's going to go down the line. Johnson makes the catch. Tagging up at third is Kelly Johnson, and he will score. And it is 5-1 D-backs. So Adam LaRoche picks up an RBI with that scoring fly ball. Kelly Johnson brings it home. Abreu is the one without a hit. He does have a run batted in. So now here is John Hester. Double, walked, and struck out. John hitting .211. Little ground ball to short. Who gets 1? They'll turn it for 2. And that's the inning, but not before the Dodgers surrender a run. And at the end of 7, D-backs 5, Dodgers 1. With runners at first and second and one out, Cole Gillespie was called upon, hitting 8th in the lineup, and he hit the home run that paralyzed everybody, all of the base runners, all of the players, but it wound up being a 3-run home run. It was interesting to watch everybody freeze, but thanks to our lenses, we could see it go in the stand. Even till the last minute, Gillespie was not sure. That was a 3-run dinger that changed things dramatically, and it's 5-1 Arizona. We can also tell you Chris Iannetta got a base hit to score Mora, who had tripled. Colorado leads the Giants 6-4 at the end of 5. Reed Johnson struck out, grounded out, 0 for 2, ball 1. Reed hitting .275. And ball 2. For Hudson, he's made 81 pitches. And we're in the 8th inning. Last night, Barry Enright went 8 and made 93 pitches. 3-0. He has not walked anybody. I think this is like only the second 3-ball count he's had, besides hitting Lindsey. And he walked it. So whether fatigue settles in, he does give up his first walk, and A.J. Ellis will be the batter. And you can look at ERAs since August 1. Roy Oswalt, you can understand. Felix Hernandez, you can certainly understand. But Daniel Hudson is quite a surprise. He's been brilliant. Ellis has struck out, grounded out, 0 for 2. And ball 1. They have not thrown a ball in the Arizona bullpen yet. After all, he's only allowed 1 hit. And that's popped in the air behind the plate, behind the screen, into the crowd. Talking about the crowd, it's a big one. Paid attendance tonight, 41,477. 41,777. And what that does is put Arizona over the 2 million mark. The Dodgers are 3,000,004, just about 3.5. And 3 games with Arizona, Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday afternoon. And Sunday, Fan Appreciation Day, Friday night fireworks. That's a spike. 2-2. Well, there's a lot still to be going on at Dodger Stadium, and hope you'll join in the fun. The last 3 ball games of the year. 2-2 the count. Off the plate, Sam Demmel, right-hander, gets up in the Arizona bullpen. Chin-Lung Hu on deck. Ground ball to the right side. Kelly Johnson to Stephen Drew. He guns it to first. So Arizona turns in the double play to short circuit the Dodgers here in the 8th inning. And with 1 out, Chin-Lung Hu will be coming up. Dodgers have turned 2 double plays against Arizona. Matt Kemp's coming out on deck. He would bat for Troncoso. It's up to Hu to extend the inning. Chin-Lung struck out, fly to left, right. Oh and 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Dan Hudson came to Arizona, we'll repeat, in the deal that sent Edwin Jackson to the White Sox. So it's ironic that a former Dodger is traded for Hudson, who comes and so far has them by the neck. One hitter. Up in the air, foul off first, coming over as LaRoche. And the Dodgers tiptoe through the 8th. And at the end of 7 1/2, a wonderful effort by Dan Hudson, a one-hitter, and it's 5-1 Arizona. That was the double by Trent Olshin in the 4th inning that eventually converted to the only Dodger run. And we move now to the bottom of the 8th inning, and yet another White Sox former player, John Link, coming in. So Eli and Link were with the White Sox. Hudson was with the White Sox. And now here they are in the bottom of the 8th in Arizona. 5-1 D-backs. It'll be Gerard Parra, followed by Cole Gillespie, and then the pitcher Dan Hudson. Interesting, through 8 innings tonight, Dan Hudson has made 93 pitches. Last night, Barry Enright went 8 innings for Arizona and made 93 pitches. Not to be outdone, Clayton Kershaw threw 8 innings last night, also made 93 pitches. Kershaw went on to make a few more and came out after making 102. So here's Link. Parra finishing up in right field. And a bouncer into right field for a base hit. So a leadoff single will bring up Cole Gillespie. And a reminder, be sure you bring your kids to Dodger Stadium with a purchase of every adult ticket on the field or Lowe's level. Kids 14 and under, just $5. For details, visit Dodgers.com/specials. Don't forget, Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday afternoon, Dodger Stadium would be yours to wrap up the year. Cole Gillespie reached on a fielder's choice, a rundown started by John Lindsay, walked in the 4th inning, and then the big blow, the 3-run home run that barely cleared the left field wall. That gave 3-run inning. There goes the runner. Ground ball, base hit into right field. So John Link is in a lot of trouble. Back-to-back singles with nobody out, and Dan Hudson coming up. Of course, one problem for John Link would be inactivity. And it's too tough. It's the old story. If you don't play, you can't play. Not well, anyway. Link was recalled September the 6th, and he gets a chance to pitch briefly. He pitched 2 innings against St. Louis. Well, that was June 7th. Hudson struck out, hit into a double play, and doubled. Shows bunt. Pulls the bat back. They're going to ask. Yes, bunt, says Darryl Cousins. He tried to do it. 0-1. Well, top of the 6th inning. We told you it was 6-4 in favor of Colorado. Well, it's not 6-4 anymore. The Giants are now leading Colorado 8-6 in the 6th inning. Ishikawa singled to score Juan Uribe, and then Cody Ross hit a 3-run home run. The Giants 8, Rockies 6, still hitting in that top of the 6th inning. San Diego won this afternoon. Giants trying to keep pace. That's a strike. 1-2 to Hudson. He hit the center field wall for a double in the 6th inning. Parra at third, Gillespie at first, nobody out. 1-2. 2-2. John Link trying to stop any more runs for Kirk Gibson. Working on Hudson. Link is an even 6, 207-pounder out of Columbus, Ohio. Lives in Virginia. Big bouncer to third. Runner has to hold. The out recorded at first, but down to second goes Gillespie. So 1 out. You have second and third, and the batter will be Stephen Drew. Stephen Drew grounded to short and walked, tripled, scored a run, and flied to left. First base open. They will walk him intentionally and take their chances against the one fella in the starting lineup without a hit. Tony Abreu. So Link gives up 2 singles, now a walk, and in a moment, with the bases loaded and 1 out, Tony Abreu. John Link, like John Eli, like Dan Hudson, all out of the Chicago White Sox organization. And with the bases loaded, we'll see whether the Dodgers are going to do anything special. There's no one throwing in the bullpen. So Joe's going out to counsel Link with the switch hitting Tony Abreu. Joe talking to Russ Mitchell and some of the other infielders. So that's the subject under discussion, what they do with Tony Abreu. Abreu tonight on the outside looking in. Tony is flied to center, struck out. He had a scoring fly ball in the 5th inning and flied to left in the 6th inning. So how do the Dodgers set the infield? That's their result. And there they are. Mitchell even with the bag at third. Loney up in front of the base runner. And Terrio and Hu back in double play depth. Abreu hitting .244. He's had 3 fly balls tonight. 0-1. Tony Abreu is from the Dominican Republic. The Dodgers signed him back in 2003. 3 years ago, he got up to the Dodgers briefly and hit .271. Then he had a lot of injuries, didn't play in 2008. and eventually came over to Arizona. Ground ball to short, who goes to the bag and doubles him at first. So Torrey went out, talked to the infield, and they get the double play. So no runs, 2 hits, 2 left. And at the end of 8, 5-1 Arizona. Allen, followed by the big 3-run home run by Cole Gillespie, barely getting away from the attempt to catch it by Reed Johnson. Everyone briefly confused. They weren't sure where the ball went, but we could see it go over the wall. So that was a big play, and Gillespie hits it out. That broke the back of the game, and it's 5-1, 9th inning, and Matt Kemp is batting for John Link. Matt hitting .247, day in, day out, playing every day, and now as a pinch hitter to keep a 197 streak alive. Matt batted in the 8th inning last night and struck out. Juan Gutierrez and Mike Hampton in the Arizona bullpen. Mike Hampton, yep. He's still at it in the pen. But Hudson with a 1-hitter in the 9th. Check swing. No swing. Hudson right now has made 97 pitches. And a crack bat, little flare. Picked up by LaRose, feeds his pitcher in time. So Kemp goes out 3-1. Big grin on LaRose's face. Sound like a celery stalk snap. And the batter will be Trent Olchen. Olchen fly deep to center. Doubled. Scored the only Dodger run. Has the only Dodger hit. And last time up, fly to left field. In there. Hudson has been absolutely brilliant. He has hit one. That was Lindsey in the 7th inning. He has walked one. That was Reed Johnson in the 8th. 1 ball and 1 strike. Dodgers on the edge of losing their 80th game and would once again be 5 games under 500. 1-2. Dan Hudson putting on a show. Basically fastball, slider, curve, and a changeup. 1-2. And down goes Olchen. He had 4 strikeouts by the 3rd inning and waited until the 9th inning to get his next. So Dan has 5 strikeouts. The crowd now wants him to finish off a 1-hitter, and the batter is Ryan Theriot. Strike. Tomorrow, Chad Billingsley and left-hander Joe Saunders. The on Prime Ticket. 0-1. 0-2. Dan Hudson. He's a 23-year-old from Virginia Beach. He is 6'4", 220 pounds, and he has presented this crowd a gem. Ball 1. He has now made 105 pitches. Here's a guy who was signed 2 years ago by the White Sox. Shot off the backhanded attempt by LaRoche, and it'll be a base hit for Ryan Theriot. And the batter now will be Andre Ethier. Theriot, who goes to right field a lot, shoots one by LaRoche. Well, now it's a 2-hitter. LaRoche telling him, I'm not going to hold. Andre Ethier has fouled out, grounded out, flied out, 0-for-3. 2 out, 9th inning, 5-1 Arizona. And going to second base, Theriot, defensive indifference, no stolen base. One and 0. Two and 0. Earlier, he had Juan Gutierrez and left-hander Mike Hampton throwing in the bullpen. And there's a little activity behind him again. 2 and 0. And 3 and 0 on deck, James Loney. So now he's reached up to 109. 68 strikes. 3 and 0. In there. So Dan's got to be huffing and puffing down, a little tired. Todd Stottlemyre talking to Kirk Gibson. And that's going to go foul. 3-2. The Giants have added another run. San Francisco leading Colorado 9-6 in the top of the 6th inning. Octavio Dotel committed a wild pitch and Freddie Sanchez scored. 3-2 to Ethier. Ball 4, and the Dodgers still alive in the 9th inning. And it's a question just how much longer Kirk Gibson will go with him, and that's all. That's how long. After the base hit by Theriot and the walk to Ethier, Dan will come out. James Loney will be the hitter, and I assume Mike Hampton, the left-hander, will be called in. An ovation for Dan Hudson. He sure deserves it. He pitched a gem, and the 41,477 salute him as he goes to the dugout. We'll be back. Ninth inning with 2 outs. He gave up a single to Terrio and the walk to Andre Ethier. So the game is still alive, and the veteran Mike Hampton coming in. Hampton is 38 years old. Just celebrated the birthday on the 9th of September. One save, that was in 1993 with Seattle, his rookie season. He's been with a lot of clubs, 15 years, with Seattle, Houston, the Mets, the Rockies, and the Braves. An All-Star twice, and 5 straight National League Silver Slugger Awards. He was one of the top hitting pitchers throughout his career. James Loney takes ball 1-0. For Loney, this is his first at bat. John Lindsay had popped up, hit back to the box, and then was hit on the hand. And Loney finishing up, and he draws the veteran left-handed. 1 ball and no strikes. That's in there. 1-1. Hampton has over 16 years in the big leagues. 5'10", 195. Used to throw exceptionally hard, not anymore. He won 22 games, but that was 1999. Breaking ball stayed up. Ball 2-1. Mike was the Sporting News National League Pitcher of the Year and finished second for the Cy Young Award to Randy Johnson. 2-1 to Loney. Russ Mitchell on deck. 2-2. So the deuce is wild in the 9th. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Dodgers have 2 on, Terrio and Ethier, and Arizona leads 5-1. So the crowd rooting for Dan Hudson to pitch a 1-hitter is now just rooting for a victory and beat LA. Seven years ago, Mike Hampton was the first pitcher to ever win a Gold Glove and a Silver Slugger Award the same year. And that's going to be hit into left center field. A diving, rolling, tumbling fail to catch by Chris Young. Scoring is Terrio. Ethier goes to third. A great effort by Chris Young to end the game, but the Dodgers are still alive. It makes it 5-2 Arizona, as Young gave it his best shot. Never did catch it. Short hopped it and then kicked it away. So Loney, a single. Terrio scores. Ethier to third. Juan Gutierrez has been throwing in the bullpen, and so Hampton is not going to stay in to face Russ Mitchell. They'll bring in Gutierrez, and we'll be back. Giving up 2 hits and charged with 2 runs. Meanwhile, as Juan Gutierrez gets ready, an overly exuberant fan has run on the field, and as we always do, we avoid spotlighting that. So we'll tell you a little bit about Gutierrez. He's from Puerto La Cruz in Venezuela. He is 6'2", he is 200 pounds, and he was originally signed by the Astros 10 years ago. He actually repeated both the rookie level Venezuelan summer and Appalachian leagues, so he had to be protected by the Astros, but eventually he left Houston and came to the Diamondbacks. Last year he was 4-3, and he was in 65 games for the D-backs. Gutierrez, 6'2", 210, and 27 years old. Basically, a two-seam fastball that sinks. Then he has that four-seamer that's been clocked up to 98. Curveball, slider, and a changeup. Russell Mitchell will face him. Last year, right-handers hit only 207 against him. So Mitchell comes out representing the potential tying run. First and third. 2 out in the ninth. And the D-backs lead 5-2. You have Ethier at third, Loney at first, and here is Mitchell 0 for 3. Ball 1. In Colorado, Carlos Gonzalez is up there with first and third, nobody out. The Giants hanging on to what is now 9-6. That dropped in nicely. 1-1. So the crowd was on its feet for the one hitter that got away for Hudson. Then they're on their feet for Hamden to get the last out. They are not so much on their feet here. And now they start to stand with 2 strikes on Mitchell. 41,477. And they are having a ball. 1-2. Got him. So Mitchell strikes out. Gutierrez gets him. And for Dan Hudson, his record is now 7-1. Not bad for a guy who just 2 years ago was signed by the White Sox. 7-1, 1-0 against the Dodgers. And the D-backs 5 runs, 11 hits. Dodgers 2 runs, 3 hits, and no errors. The time of game, 2 hours and 26 minutes. A reminder, prime ticket tomorrow. Chad Billingsley and Joe Saunders. Stay tuned for Dodgers Live coming up next. Good night, everybody.